Hey, this is David Wynn with the Mortgage Edge podcast, brought to you by Click and Close Mortgage. Today, I have a very special guest. As you know, we only bring high-powered realtors from across the country on here, and we're coming to you from San Angelo, Texas, Aurora Prieto. Did I say it right?
You said it right. Close
Awesome. I usually butcher it. Aurora, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on here. I'm excited.
Okay. Well, we're not going to really talk about production or anything like that. I know you're a top-tier realtor and everything else, but what the folks want to know is, Aurora Prieto, tell me, how long have you been in the real estate game, or how long have you been a realtor?
I've been a realtor for 10 years. It'll be 11 years this year, and I'm excited. I love what I do, and so another year down, I'm ready.
What made you get into real estate 10 years ago? How do you get into real estate? I don't think anybody decides in college, I'm going to go get real estate license. Everybody just kind of falls into it. So tell me your story. What did you do before that?
That's exactly right. Growing up, I wanted to be in news. I would stand in front of the mirror and say, we're here at this whatever place, and and I'm bringing you the news. And I always thought that I was going to be in some kind of news. When I went to school, I actually studied business administration, business management. I wanted to be in human resources. I wanted to maybe do the onboarding for new employees. I wanted to train people. And after college, I started working for GTE Verizon. I was in telecommunications for 17 years. And I was thankful for the paycheck. I loved it. It was great. But it was not my cup of tea. And nothing against Verizon, but I would sit in front of a computer and I would basically work with numbers, work with no people, and that was not me. And I could tell because I would volunteer for every committee that they had under the sun.
to just people interaction.
I just felt like there was something missing. And I was always curious, David, about real estate. I'd love to go into houses. And then I know it takes more than being curious about a house and, how they figure out, the amount that a house is going to sell for. I was always curious about how the market works, how houses are sold and purchased, and then, flip homes. I was always curious about the whole thing, but I didn't know exactly what it meant. It was just a curiosity. I just knew that I didn't like what I was doing. Yeah. And I wanted to do something else. And I've tried other things. I have another company that I own.
Talk about it.
Okay. So I own a company called Aurora's Creations. And actually that name was, I came up with it with the help of my classroom, my classmates when I was working on my master's. I didn't know what to name it, and I wanted to name it something, and they said, hey, A is at the beginning of the alphabet. When they look for you, it's going to be at the top. If they're looking for wedding decor, and they say wedding decor, Aurora's is going to be at the top because they're going to start with all the A names, on the internet. So that's how I came up with that name, but it's a wedding decor business, and I decorate for any kind of special events, not just weddings, but any kind of special events. And I've done that for 23 years. And
oh, wow.
Yeah, my intention was to try the real estate business. And I thought if I do well in real estate, I'll go ahead and sell my business. And I was ready to sell a long time ago, but I actually did all the inventory and everything and got ready the year. I mean, I was waiting for my income tax return to come back so I could show all my financials if anybody was interested in buying my business right when the pandemic started. And so then my accountant is like, you can't sell your business. Nobody's going to want to buy a wedding decor business because you're not going to do well this year. That was his prediction. And actually it ended up being one of my best years because people, I didn't have to go and actually do the wedding decor. It became a huge rental business where people were coming and picking up rentals left and right. And instead of having one huge wedding, I had, a whole bunch of small rentals that added up to a wedding every single weekend. So it went great. And I don't know, I thought that might have been God's way of saying, don't sell the business, have it as a backup. So I've definitely downscaled on my wedding because I'm very, very busy with the real estate, but it's more of a rental. I still do, instead of doing 5 weddings on a weekend, I'll have maybe one every other weekend. And so I still have it. I enjoy it. Again, it's a people business. I try to create a vision. Whatever somebody wants, I create it. I look at what they want, and I just go ahead and try to create that vision for them. And it's very rewarding to work with brides, to work with parents of quinceañeras and sweet 16s, and create this special event. But I have not gotten rid of it. I guess because of that, I'm still like, I don't know if I want to get rid of it. They say do a lot of real estate and then do something to help you just refresh. And I think that the weddings, anytime I have a wedding or a special event, it just helps me kind of refresh and do something different, do something creative instead of working with numbers all the time. But both jobs are working with people. Both jobs, I feel like, do great. One of my ads, whenever I've done bridal showcases, I always say, getting married and buying your home are 2 of the biggest events of your life. Lucky for you, Aurora can help you with both. And so I can decorate for your wedding and then help you buy a house, or I can help you buy a house and then I can get you married. Whichever way you want to look at it.
That's awesome. What a great story. And that has
Thank you.
nothing to do with real estate. So 23 years, you decided to keep it, and then you're very involved, it sounds like. It's not just, hey, you know what, I have my staff that runs my business, but it sounds like you're very involved in that.
Yes,
I know. Go ahead.
I love to go, and I mean, I could definitely have a full rental business and I have an assistant, I have a worker that works here. I could definitely have somebody just go and either deliver. I could be very offhands, but I do like to be involved. And I think that it has helped me with my real estate, David, because, that's another way that I can meet people. It's one of my niches, I don't know another company that has wedding decor that is also a realtor. So I get to meet people that are newlyweds. And guess what? They're newlyweds, and most of the time, they're either immediately looking for a house or they're going to be looking for a house. And so I just make myself, I don't tell them, hey, I'm also a realtor, but they find out, through the process of preparing for their wedding, they find out. And guess what? I'll get a call. Hey, we know you're a realtor. You did great for our wedding. We'd love for you to help us find a house. And I'm like, okay, I'm there. Already.
Hey, pro tip, realtors, start a wedding planning business.
So that's one thing. There's a lot of things that you can do as a realtor to meet people, but that has been it just fell into place. It's not like I said, you know what, I'm going to keep the business and we're going to work together. It just kind of happened, and it's been a blessing in my life to be able to do both.
Yeah. Let's talk about that a little bit. You're coming from San Angelo, Texas, which if anybody knows where San Angelo is, it's in West Texas, and it's a smaller community. What's the population out there?
100,000.
100,000.
Give or take a little, yes.
What is your radius? I mean, how far out do you go? Is it
100
miles, 50 miles? What is it?
Yep. I always tell people I go out about an hour. That sounds funny because we're in the middle of nowhere. If you come to San Angelo, we are in the middle of nowhere. The closest town is Abilene, an hour and a half. Midland, 2.5 hours. San Antonio, one way, 3.5 hours. Dallas, 3.5 hours another way. So I go as far as Sterling City, that's 45 minutes. Sonora, Texas is an hour. I have a listing in Sonora. I've listed before. I've helped people buy. So about an hour, about 45 minutes, 100 miles, 70, 75 miles, give or take. And I don't want to go any further because really, I could definitely list a house in Midland, but I don't know the market in Midland the way I know the market in San Angelo. So I need to be an expert in the area where I work, and I don't consider myself an expert in Midland or Odessa or Abilene. So I want to stick as close to San Angelo, and I do great just sticking to doing this. So that's where I want to stay.
Well, you're the it realtor out there in San Angelo. I can tell you that. So, with that being said,
Thank
are you
you.
from San Angelo or?
Actually, no, I grew up in Del Rio. I came to San Angelo to go to the university, Angelo State University, and I just stayed.
You
I
never
had
left.
I just stayed, and it's I've lived in San Angelo longer than I've lived in my hometown, so I consider San Angelo my hometown now. I mean, this is home. This is home for me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And
Yes.
what's that family life look like? Are you married, kids? Talk about
Yes,
that.
yes, yes. I have married. Excuse me. I am married. My husband's name is Pablo, and he's my second husband. I have four sons from my first husband, and they're all boys. They each. I always tell people they each have a story of their own that they could tell. They're successful, and I'm very proud of each and every one of them. Three of my four sons live here in San Angelo. One of them lives in San Antonio, so I make trips to San Antonio to visit him. Well, I say I visit him, but I visit my granddaughter, and then I happen to see him while I'm there. But
Yeah, right?
yes, so I have three granddaughters and three grandsons, and I love the fact that I'm a grandmother and I get to visit them and I get to be flexible with my hours. I have a dog named Chino, so if you're in San Angelo and you drive around in any radius of the town, at some point you're going to see a billboard with my dog Chino on it, or myself and my dog Chino. A lot of times it's just my dog Chino. So many people come to the office. He comes to work with me, and they'll walk in the door. They're like, "Hey, we're here to see Chino. How's he doing?" And I'm like, "I'm fine too." No,
Check
nobody
out
asks
me.
about. Hello, nobody asks about me. They ask about my dog Chino, and anybody that knows me knows that my dog Chino comes with me. I don't go to showings with him. I don't have him at open houses with me out of respect for the people that walk in. They may not be dog lovers, and that's completely understandable. But he does come to the office with me, and at Scott Allison, the actual boutique that I work for here in San Angelo, they say that he's the mascot. I'm like, okay, I'm not anybody in the office, but Chino is. You know,
That's awesome. So, are you a broker or?
no, I
Yeah.
should. I have enough hours with my bachelor's and my master's degree. It should be very easy to be able to get my broker license. I probably am, and I'm aiming to maybe get that this year to get my broker license. I'm not a broker, um, but I've been focusing on other things. I do a lot of stuff. I volunteer for a lot of different organizations, and I want to keep on doing that. And I think that if you're a broker, it's a totally different mindset. And I feel like I'm ready for that, but I don't want to stop doing some of the volunteer things that I do right now.
Oh,
So
your production and you do crazy production. Is it just you or do you have a team or what's? Talk to
it's
me.
just I have a person. I try to use my family and help them. They help me, I help them. So my photographer, I have two photographers, and one of them is my son. He has another job, but it's flexible, and he has his own little business. So he does the photography for me. I have people that help me stage. I have an assistant that works for me. I have another employee. And then I have people that work part-time that I can call if I need um, to go and stage a home, because I stage my houses as much as possible. And I can't stage all of them with my listings, but you know, I'll move stuff from one house to another and then to another and to another, and I do that all the time. But I do have a group of people that help me. I do all the contracts. I said I am the only one that meets with my clients one-on-one to schedule either listing appointments or buying appointments so I can show them what I can do for them. And it's basically a one-person job as far as the real estate is concerned, but I do have people that help me on the side.
So let's talk about this. As we sit here, was at January 17th, 2025.
Yes.
You had a great year last year. How did last year compare to previous years?
So I actually beat last year. I beat my production by about $20,000 commission. So I was really excited because last year I thought it was a slow year,
Yeah.
but it actually ended up being an excellent year. And so I'm hoping to beat that this year. If I could increase my commission by 20,000 every year, I would be good. I would
Of
be
course,
happy.
we all would be good, bud. Well, let's talk about the real estate in San Angelo. What kind of movement do we have here? Is it a buyer's market, seller's market? Are people coming from out of town? Is it just the locals buying up? What? Talk to us about San
So
Angelo.
let me tell you, San Angelo is unique in the sense that even though we're in the middle of nowhere, right? And you would think, okay, how do people buy and sell homes? The number one thing that I know that affects our market is that we have a military base. So whether you want to or not, people are coming in and are leaving, forcefully. And the greatest thing, there's something about this town that it is growing, but people in the military, once they retire, which just automatically just surprises me because it's not like living in the hill country where you have beautiful scenery or hills, it's flat. We have these two hills that people call the Twin Mountains, and I promise you, they're not mountains, they're hills. But they're called Twin Mountains. But people retire from the military and then they come and make San Angelo their retirement home. They
Hey,
love San Angelo. So people come and visit. I stayed. People come and it's like there's some kind of magnet here with the people. I feel like people are very friendly, very helpful. And you could say that about the place where you live. You could say, other people could say that about the places that they live in. But San Angelo has something that attracts people. It's like a small town home feeling, like a small town home feeling, but it does have things to offer. So the military base is one thing, okay? It does have a small college, and then it has a university that is growing. It is definitely growing. I think the population just with the university is about 10,000 students. Okay, so it definitely attracts professors. It attracts people. The hospital now with like the traveling nurses, a lot of people come and they, again, I have helped several traveling nurses become permanent nurses in San Angelo because they want to buy a house because they like San Angelo so much. I don't know what it is about San Angelo, but they like it. So that helps quite a bit. We don't have huge companies. We have a company, we have Ethicon. And so it's attracted some people, but I think that the military base is huge, the hospital and the university. Those are three things that, the university grows and it hires more professors and therefore need more housing. People come and even with the university, a lot of parents will come and buy a house, keep the house for 3 or 4 years while their student is in school, will help whoever stays with their son or daughter. They charge them for rent and they're paying off the house. And then in 3 or 4 years, you have that increased equity in the house. They turn around and sell it.
how's
So
the inventory there in San Angelo? So across the country, it's low, but it's gotten better over the years. And there's supposed to be more inventory coming out too. With it
yes,
being a smaller town, is it still an inventory shortage out there, or is it increasing like the rest of the country?
it is definitely increasing. The average number of months that a house stays on the market is about 2.5. So we definitely have, it's increased even over last year. We have more inventory than we had last year. I've noticed, I hit the floor running in January. I went on a mission trip on January the 2nd. So even on January the 2nd, I was gone, but I closed on a house. So that was my first closing of the year. And then I came back on the 10th, which was a Saturday night late. Sunday, I was showing houses. I'm under contract for one house. And I got this week 4 listings to put on the market. And I feel like there's an increase. There's this movement that you're going to be able to notice. Even though this week the interest rate increased a little bit, I always tell people, and I have a little radio show. Well, I have 2 radio shows in San Angelo. I have one that's all in Spanish, and I have one that's bilingual. So I get to speak mostly in English and say a few words in Spanish. So people will know that, hey, she speaks Spanish. So that definitely has helped me. But this week's topic was reasons why you need to wait to buy a house. And maybe if you don't have the down payment, that could be a valid reason. If you can't find the right house, that could be a reason. If you're working on your credit, that could be a reason. There's several things, but waiting for the interest rate to go down is not a reason to wait to buy a house. And the reason for that is because on average, if you look at the history of interest rates, the majority of time, the lowest, I mean, it's always been above 6%. What we got during the pandemic, that 2.5%, 3%, that's very unusual. And it might happen again. I'm not saying that it's not, but what are the chances of that happening in the next 5 or 10 years? So what I tell people is like, okay, you don't want to buy a house today that's $250,000 because you're waiting for the interest rate to go down. Well, you know what? In 6 years, you're going to go and say, oh, great, the interest rate is down, but that house that was 250 is now 300,000. So those 5 years, did it save you $50,000 in interest rate? Probably not. So the best thing to do is to buy the house today for $250,000. And then in 5 years, if the interest rate goes down, you already have equity in the house. Guess what? You can go ahead and refinance that, and you're not paying 100% interest, because when you rent, that's what you're doing. You're paying 100% interest. So what sounds better, 100% interest or 6% interest? Pick the worst of the two and stop renting, pay the 6% interest, save yourself a 94% interest rate, and refinance if you need to in a couple of years when the interest rate does go down.
Pro tip. I tell people that all day long, but it's good to hear from a realtor also. I want to address something for the audience. You just came back from Honduras on a mission trip. I do believe, do you go every year on a mission trip?
Yes.
Okay.
Usually it's every January.
Yeah, and why do you do that?
When I come back, there's something about going and trying to help somebody else. And I could do that here in San Angelo. I mean, I volunteer for different committees here in San Angelo. I feel like I do a lot here locally. But I think I started 9 years ago, and I went on a mission trip, and I came back. And not only did I feel like I wanted to work harder to help more, but I was so appreciative of everything I had. The first year was very different than the rest of the years, because I've been going to different places from the first year. The first year we slept on the floor with netting just to make sure that nothing got into our bed as far as a critter is concerned. They had no plumbing. They would set out 5-gallon buckets for water, and that's how they washed their dishes, cooked. They bathed in the river. I mean, it was like something I had never experienced before in my life. And you go over there, and every child, I do the children's ministry. So I do arts and crafts for the kids, and I leave stuff for the Sunday school teacher to be able to use. And I'm talking about simple stuff like construction paper and crayons. And not only is the teachers have been so appreciative and thankful, but all the kids, oh my goodness, they absolutely love that we go and that we do something like that with them. And you come back and you're just so appreciative, David. I can't explain. You think that you're going to help, like I'm like, oh yes, I'm going to go help in Honduras. But you know what? They helped me. They filled my heart with so much joy. And you come back and you're just thankful that you have what you have. I sleep in my bed and I'm like, thank you. Thank you that I have this bed, that I have air conditioning, that I have heating, that, that I'm able to wear shoes. It's just such an appreciation, and I just feel like, and then when you go, you want to help them. We have a scholarship program that we raise money for. And every year we give a scholarship to children, because I don't know if you know, David, but after they turn, after 6th grade in Honduras, you have to pay for school. So that's the reason why most kids don't finish high school, because the parents are either, okay, you either work and help with so you can eat, or you go to school. So what do you want to do? Do you want to eat or do you want to go to school? I mean, they don't have much of a choice. They have to go join the workforce when they're supposed to be in 7th grade. So we provide a scholarship to this one school. If they have a 90% grade average or better, then they get to apply for the scholarship. And then if they get the scholarship, their school is paid for as long as they are in school. I have a sweet, I call him friend now, Mario Daniel. He's in his 5th year of medical school. He's going to be a doctor. And we
Oh,
have covered that for him. We have a dentist. There's so many people that have gotten their bachelor's degree, they're working on their master's, or they've at least finished high school and they were able to get a job. And it's just so rewarding to see that. Well, these students, these people become professionals. They turn around and help other students with a scholarship, and you see this come full circle and you help them. We have a vision clinic where we help people with readers, so that they can be able to read. But then if they need prescription glasses, we give them a voucher where we pay for the visit and then we give them frames so that it'll be cheaper for them to get the glasses and the prescription glasses filled by the optometrist instead of them having to pay for all of it. So we do that. And then we, of course, do the children's ministry. And it's just so rewarding to be able to do that and to see it just come full circle. I just don't know how to explain it.
Well,
It's
that's
a
why I
grateful-
wanted to bring it up. You are changing. You're changing lives. I don't know. It makes me want to go on a mission trip. It sounds like you said, it's more given back to you than you giving to them.
Yes.
And it just tells the type of person you are, Aurora. I mean, I knew it, but I think our audience needs to know it, and your clients need to know what a giving woman you are. You're such a
Thank
special
you.
lady. That do all these great things for the community and to help people and nurture.
Thank you.
That's why you're just a beautiful soul.
Thank you. Thank you
it's
so
why-
much.
I mean, it's just it's my honor just to be associated with you, because it's just sometimes, I mean, when we talk, you bring a tear to my eye just because you're so genuine and real. And
Thank you.
and you don't get that. I know from a client standpoint, if you hire them, you're looking out for their best interest, 100%. It's not about the money with you, and that's why I wanted to bring you on here.
Thank you.
With that being said, I could sit here and talk to you all day, and we will bring you back for another podcast. What should we have talked about that we didn't talk about so far?
What that we're missing? I think that everybody can be themselves and be authentic and be able to help people and be successful at real estate. It's not an easy thing to do, but it can come easy to people if they really put their heart into it. I think that that's one thing that's very important. I think that, like I said, a lot of people get into real estate because they think it's going to be an easy thing. It's not. It's not. I love what I do. You have to love what you do. You have to be willing to work with people. You cannot be a realtor and not work with people. Or if somebody knows how to do that, I'd like to know how that would be done. The other thing is that you can make an impact. I love to go to Honduras. One thing that I'm doing for Valentine's Day, and this is just as a plus for the community. This year's word for me is impact, and we want to make an impact as a community. So I'm giving away a Valentine's Day very romantic dinner with a bottle of wine at a special restaurant. And the way you sign up for that drawing is that you're going to bring me some canned goods, and we're going to take it to and donate it to a food pantry here. And what kind of impact do you think that we can make as a community for people who are homeless or need help with their groceries? And that's how they're going to sign up, by bringing me canned goods. And then they're going to have a very beautiful romantic dinner on Valentine's Day. And then all these people, they're going to eat one time at a restaurant, but everybody else together that wanted to be part of that is going to make an impact with people that need help buying groceries on a weekly. So you can make an impact. That's one thing that I want to mention. You can make an impact in your community. You just have to think of ways and get creative. And if you want to, I try to do something throughout the entire year. Okay. It's not a one-time thing. January, it was my trip to Honduras, helping somebody else. February, helping my community here, something for Valentine's. I've already got something planned for March. There's something every single month that's going on that is going to be able to do what I said, impact. An individual, impact you, impact my community, impact others. And if you have any questions about how you can impact your community or how you can grow your business, I would love to be able to help you. They can call me, 325-212-9277. I'm going to say that again just in case I'm a fast talker, 325 212-9277. They can call me. I'd love to be able to help them create a plan, come up with ideas of how they can make an impact, how they can be impactful, not just to their clients, but to their community or to somebody in Honduras.
And if you were watching us earlier live, guys, you saw her phone number go across the lower thirds. Aurora, you're so giving. Again, you're in the real estate business, and I was going to say, if people want to find you in San Angelo, and I know they do, what's your phone number? And you just gave it, but you didn't give your phone number for real estate. You gave your phone number for a food pantry so that you can donate. You're such a giver, and
thank you.
And I can tell you right now, people want you to be their real estate agent. So
thank you.
First of all, thank you very much for being on the show. Thank you for just being you, and continue to give. I can't wait to do, we're going to follow up with you maybe in 6 months to see all the things that you're doing in 2025. That's great.
I'm excited. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well, guys, I'm David Wynn. I'm with the Mortgage Edge podcast. Thanks for being with us today. Bye, guys.